Once again, thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. And we thought, like, we and sir were discussing, more than the talk, we have a short a session of more of an interview mode of how things would be taken. So, sir, I want to start with your diplomatic career. I mean, you chose that career of being a diplomat. So I would like to know why and how you chose it, and from the experience, what do you think are the best traits that suits an excellent or influential diplomat, as you know it? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bibin, and first of all, let me say good evening to everyone who's gathered here. Happy Diwali to each and every one of you. Much has been already said about Diwali by our Masters of Ceremony. Let me say that each one of you who are gathered here, you are the diyas, you are the light which is going to lead the world in the coming days. We from India, as ambassador here, are extremely proud of the Indian community here, of the Indian Student Association, as well as its 800 strong members. You are the brightest and the best here in this university, in the Netherlands, from India, and anywhere in the world. So please go out there, go out with great confidence, do your best, and make sure that you make both TU Delft and your mother country, India, proud of you in the coming days. Happy Diwali once more. And Bibin asked me about my career as a diplomat, and perhaps I don't know whether there are lessons in it for you, right lessons or wrong lessons. But for me, my life was fairly simple. When I was in college, I chose to study political science. And within political science at the undergrad level, I found the most interesting part of it was international relations. So I went on to do a master's in international relations in Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. And having done a master's in international relations, I wanted to follow what I had studied with practice, so which was to become a diplomat. So it was always there in my mind that I wanted to appear for the civil service exams and try for the foreign service. Yes, most of you would know who are from India, the Indian civil service exams are extremely tough and competitive. You never know if you will make it till the last minute till you get the results. But I made it. But before I qualified for the foreign service, I had a little digression. I worked as a journalist for about 2.5 years as staff correspondent with the Indian Express. And then I appeared while I was studying law and working as a journalist simultaneously. That is when I qualified and made it into the foreign service. And since then, I have not looked back. I have loved every moment of my life in the foreign service. I have served in Hong Kong, I have served in Beijing, I have served in Geneva in the Indian mission to the UN, in Washington DC, as Consultant of India in Dubai, and now as ambassador in the Netherlands, as well as before I came here, I was press secretary to the President of India in Delhi, and I had many stints in both the Ministry of External Affairs as well as the Ministry of Finance in India. So you asked me what makes a good diplomat. I think for any job, what you need is to be a good human being, first and foremost. And you need to have a heart, you need to have a willingness to work hard, but also you need to have an open mind to new ideas, new thoughts, to the views of other people. You need to be a good listener, just as much as you're a good speaker. And you need the powers of articulation. All of you are engineers, and it's wonderful to know your subject and be competent in engineering. But please remember, across the world today, you need a lot of soft skills, and that's where I think a festival like the ISA comes in. You must have the confidence to speak, you must be able to argue a point, you must have a wide interest in things beyond your academic discipline. And more than anything else, you need to have a lot of self-confidence. I told you, you are amongst the best and the brightest. Never hesitate, never think of yourself as less than anyone else. Go forth into the world confidently, and you will make an outstanding success of both your personal lives as well as whatever organization or institution you are associated with.
Thank you so much. You spoke about your career at AU, so I feel like you also wrote as a journalist. So, journalists or international relations, which has an upper hand from your side, or which where do you find your happiness? Is it journalism or international relations?
Well, I worked as a journalist for 2.5 years. I've now done 33 years as a diplomat. So, but that 2.5 years still stays very close to my heart. That was my first real job. I was very young at that point of time, and I put my heart and soul into it. So certainly I love journalism, and I think it is an extremely important profession which stands as a sentinel in any democracy. The role of a journalist is to bring information to the public, to point out what is wrong, to suggest alternatives to things which may not be working. So there is a big social purpose to the media and to the journalism, to the professional journalism. But having said that, having worked as a diplomat for 33 years, traveling across the world, meeting people from different countries, different cultures, people who speak different languages, people who share much in common with you, but yet people who are different. This is also a life that I have enjoyed. I said I started off earlier saying that there might be lessons in my experience, good and bad for all of you. What I meant is sometimes it is good to stick to your specialization. I studied international relations. I went on to become a diplomat. Many of you will be studying many disciplines. You will continue in that discipline, but never get yourself confined by that. If you see good opportunities, if you have an occasion to do something completely different from engineering, please jump at that opportunity and grab it too. Never hesitate, never be insecure and say, I may not succeed in it. Be confident and go forward. Today, in India, in the civil services, we have a large number of engineers who come and work both in the IAS as well as in the foreign service. There are many who have studied in IITs. There are many who have gone to the best education institutions in India and do extremely well in the civil services also. So civil service is only one option. You can be an NGO, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a research scholar, you can be an academic. So any number of opportunities await you. You have to make the decisions yourself, but stay confident and do well. Apply yourself to whatever opportunities come by your way. Thank you.
When you spoke about the students and that we lost in life both in JNU or back in Kerala, is there any great moment you still remember from your childhood that it's still like at moments you feel, okay, that thing happened in that time?
When I saw all those pictures, both on the screen and in your brochure about holy celebrations and what was it, disco dhamaka. No, there are many moments. I've had a full life. I spent 5 years in my college in Kerala, Maharaj's College in Bangalore, which is one of the oldest colleges. If I can openly let you in on a secret, I never went to much classes. I know it is not easy for engineering students or in an institution like TU Delft, but I was involved in a wide range of social and cultural activities outside of classroom. And we were lucky in those days to have a system of education which was based on an end of the year examination. So all we needed to do was to do well in that end of the year examination. So in my college days itself, while in Kerala, I was lucky to be part of the NCC, which gave me a lot of exposure to many activities, including attending the Republic Day camp in Delhi. Through the NCC, I went on a youth exchange program to Canada, and I spent 3 months in Canada and 3 months in Punjab, a region of India which I had little idea about. And in Jawaharlal Nehru University, I was elected chairman of the College Students' Union in Maharaj's College in my last year in Kerala. And then when I went into JNU, I was elected vice president of the Students' Union there. So I was very actively involved in student union activities. And I have to again make another confession. I ended up my life in JNU with 11 days in Tihar jail as part of a good student. I used to work for the Foreign Minister of India, who told me he was preparing for some speech and I was sent to him, and he said with great pride, I have spent 1 day in Patna jail. So I told him I have spent 11 days in Tihar jail.
Again, looking next slide from student to diplomatic journalist, you recently turned to be an author also. You published 2 books, namely to speak like What can we learn from the Dutch rebuilding Kerala post 2008 floods? And the second one, India, Netherlands, past, present, and future. Could you say a few words about the new books you have?
Well, let me start with my the latest book, or the second book, India and the Netherlands, past, present, and future. And again, a connection for you. You are the only student community which features in the book with pictures as well as features. And I'm grateful to Ansish for having provided me the pictures I wanted to teach in the student life. But this is a book which is a comprehensive look at India and the Netherlands in a manner which has never been done before. I start with history, the Dutch Golden Age in the 17th century, and how the Dutch East India Company was formed, how the first ships started sailing for Asia. The first, 1602, the company was formed. 1604, they signed the first agreement on the Malabar coast with the king, the Zamarin of Calicut, and then how there were Dutch settlements in 4 different corners of India. I threw a series of pen pictures. I traced the story of India and the Netherlands, especially fascinating characters and fascinating individuals and aspects of our connection which are probably forgotten or unknown, both in the Netherlands as well as in India today. If I can give you a few examples, one, Rembrandt, the greatest of Dutch painters, had a personal collection of Mughal miniatures. Inspired by the Mughal miniatures, he created a series of drawings which are now available and but spread across the world. 8 of them are available in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. And some of one of the characters he featured in his drawings the most was Shah Jahan, who was the emperor of Mughal India and the creator of Taj Mahal. There is a fascinating Dutch painter called Johannes Vinboons, who has drawn beautiful pictures as well as maps of different places across India. Vinboons never left the Netherlands, completely based on information brought back to him by sailors and admirals and navigators of the East India Company. He recreated these pictures. And the cover of my book is a picture of Cochin by Vinboons. Yeah, you can see the cover. This is the picture, and anybody who knows Cochin knows that even now the mouth of the harbour of Cochin looks exactly like this. So there are any number of characters. Who was the first Indian here in the Netherlands? There is a document, a notarial document in the archives of the city of The Hague, in which Gerrit Mosapata, a person from Masulipatanam in Tamil Nadu, has affixed his signature in Tamil. A picture of him, along with a Protestant missionary, Baldeus, hangs in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. Swami Vivekananda came to the Netherlands in 1867. Tagore visited the Netherlands in 1930. Annie Besant and Jiddu Krishnamurti, a famous spiritual leader, used to visit the Netherlands regularly between 21 and 29. Hasrat Inayat Khan, the founder of the Universal Sufi Order, had his awakening in the dunes of Katwijk. So I tell all these stories, and through a series of pen pictures, I try and attract the reader to take an interest in India and the Netherlands, to take an interest in the relations between these 2 countries, to study it and to research it further. I also talk about the modern day economic relations, which is where the students and student life features. I talk about the big Dutch companies in India, Shell, Unilever, Philips, who established themselves in the 30s, the history in India, and the big Indian companies here in the Netherlands, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services. And I conclude with a look at the future. I talk about how common values unite us and how, building on these values, we can together create a better world. Thank you.
That's extremely good, sir. When we step on the future, I would like also to ask, in the future, how do you see us students contributing towards the development of a country like India? From here, if we choose a career here itself, how, as citizens of India, being abroad, how can we contribute towards the development of the country?
Well, nobody in the world today talks anymore about brain drain. We always talk about brain circulation.
Yeah, that's true.
In a world which is connected through the internet, with all the tools that are available, wherever we are in the world, we can contribute to wherever we came from and whatever we are passionate about. So I think each one of you can contribute in a very big way to India, to the Netherlands, and to the whole world. And each one of you are specializing in frontier disciplines in which technology is advancing very fast. The future world is going to be a knowledge economy, and technology is disrupting all aspects of our activity. But in this disruption, there are good things and there are bad things. Life is becoming more convenient in many ways, but yet there are people who are losing jobs with robotization, with artificial intelligence. The world is not going to look the same as we have seen it so far, or even as we see it today. Someone once said, what we need to teach every student is how to constantly relearn, because by the time he finishes his studies and he starts work, the work scenario would have completely changed, the subject would have changed, the technology would have changed. So wherever you are, with the wonderful foundation that each one of you have as a result of your education in India, as a result of your education here in Italy, Delft, you can contribute to the world, and we live in an interconnected world where problems are universal. This country is called the Netherlands because a large portion of it is under the sea level. It has fought with floods for centuries, and through the battle with floods, it has accumulated an experience in dealing with water which few countries in the world have. And that was the subject of my earlier book, which was written when the state of Kerala witnessed the biggest floods in 100 years. There was a big debate within the state as to what we did right and what we did wrong. And living here in the Netherlands, I thought it is important to share the Dutch experience with the people of Kerala, with the people of India. So this initially I wrote it as an article for the press, then I developed it into a book, and the book has been greatly appreciated both in India as well as the Netherlands. So in whatever capacity, whatever you studied, whatever you do, just try and do your best to change what you see around you for the better, and change it not just for yourself, but everyone around you.
Thank you, sir, for that.
To conclude, sir, thank you for your time. Thank you for spending it and giving us a detailed overview of what you've done in your student life and throughout. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, everyone. Study well, play hard, enjoy yourself, and have fun in whatever you do. Thank you very much, all the very best.